costs. It's the seller's cost and responsibility up to the named place of delivery. Notice of the buyer, you need to notify the buyer when the goods are at the named place of delivery. Packaging, still seller's responsibility. So, what's different from XWorks to FCA? Go ahead, Mike.
The seller is responsible for their own risks and costs of keeping those licenses and everything.
Yep.
And they probably know their government better than we're going to know.
Yep. That's the only, on the seller's responsibility, that's the only difference. Only difference. Does anybody have their freight forwarder do your AES for you? What does it cost you? How much does it cost, do you know? $35. $35. Okay? So, if you're telling me that you use AES or you use XWorks because you have nobody in your organization that knows how to file an AES, that's why you use XWorks over FCA. I'm just going to inform you that you are putting your company at a $50,000 risk to save $35. So if you want to try to explain that to the owner or president or the stockholders of your company, I'd like to be there to listen to that explanation. Because that's what you're doing. The named place of delivery can be the exact same as XWorks. So if you want to still make it Urbana, Ohio, it could still be Urbana, Ohio. It could still be South Loading Dock, Buffalo, New York, or Military Road, wherever. The same terms, the same name place of delivery that you're using for XWorks, you can use for FCA. That's where the confusion comes in. The only difference between the two terms is number 2. So now, Sandy, if you're using FCA, that's all you're doing is changing the terms, and now you're covered and you're doing everything right because you're doing the AES anyways, right? So you're doing it. Now you're doing it properly, and now you have no risk. The other, and I like to make fun of this because it's only because people don't understand. And I want to make light of it because I want to give you the tools to talk to other people about changing this. When you use XWorks, when your customer comes to Urbana, Ohio, who loads the truck? You do. You're not supposed to. Okay? Again, they think it's easier if we use XWorks, but you're doing that anyways. Now the good thing is, if you're loading the truck and you fork it while you're loading it, or you hit the side of the truck as it's going in, it's not your responsibility. Okay? So, if your thinking is that along that line, I'm okay with that. Just make sure you cover number 2. That's it. That's all I really want companies to do. And believe me, I'm not pushing from the freight forwarder side to get your $35. That's not it. Okay? The buyer's responsibility under FCA, pretty much the same. They pay for the goods. Okay? Now, under number 2, they obtain any import license. See, they took away export and import. Now the buyer is only responsible for import licensing. They're still responsible to provide for carriage of the goods from the named place of delivery. Take delivery of goods as provided in the sale contract. Again, I would put a date in there. Risk transfer. They're still taking the same risk at the same place, same time. Costs. They're still paying for all the transportation from the named place of delivery. Notice of the seller. They still have to be given sufficient notice. Accept the seller's delivery document if it is in conformity with a sales contract for proof of delivery. Still their responsibility for an inspection. So nothing's changed. So you might want to just put a big note at the top of the page. Only difference between XWorks and FCA is the export license. Like Sandy said, it's very easy to do if you're doing it internally. If it's something you don't want to do internally, it's a $35 cost. Yes, Carl?
When would the pre-carriage come into place?
Pre-carriage?
Yeah.
From the named place of delivery.
To where?
To, if it's a ocean shipment, it would be to the port. Okay?
And then who would cover the cost of that? Would that be the seller? Because there's a guy here that has that there. You said that the seller's responsible for the pre-carriage, the name place.
No. It's pre-carriage to the named place. To the named place. Okay?
It's where you have to state on your terms where they're going to.
Right.
So that.
So the seller will be responsible. So if you're saying your named place of delivery is your loading dock, okay?
So then there would be really no pre-carriage involved.
Right.
Okay.
But technically there is, because and I see what you're saying, the way they put it here. But if you look at the next block there, Carl, it says delivery at named place port unloaded. So technically that's still pre-carriage. Okay, to the port. So in this term, you're responsible to get it to the loading dock. The buyer's responsible from the loading dock to the port. Okay, good question. Right. Now you could put FCA ABC Warehouse, Newark, New Jersey.
And then the seller would be responsible for the movement of goods to.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So, again, the thinking is always XWorks or FCA is just to your loading dock. That's not always accurate. It's a named place. You use same term wherever you want. You just have to remember that if you load it on a truck to get it to New Jersey, and it gets in an accident in Syracuse, it's your risk, your responsibility.
If we do XWorks in ABC, New Jersey.
Same thing.
Buyers.
No, same thing. Same thing. Named place.